No, you're definitely not young enough to ask.
No, you're not. But we can ask you about all the sports this morning.
Oh, goodness.
Do you want to touch briefly on the Euros a little bit again?
Yeah, just because there was another very important game last night which has a bearing on what England do on Wednesday. The Netherlands, or Holland as I prefer to call them, I don't know when they changed their name to the Netherlands, they beat Turkey by 2-1 last night. They were losing by 1-0. They turned it around in the second half, but Turkey gave them a really stiff examination in that last 15 minutes or so. They put them really, really under pressure. And the Netherlands, or Holland, as I say.
But the Netherlands is quite a strong side, isn't it?
Yeah, they are. I mean, they blow hot and cold in tournaments. Sometimes they turn up and they look like world beaters. Other times they're torn apart by internal infighting. Other times they're just a bit. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean they've been divided along racial lines in the past, believe it or not, back in the 90s, which seems incredible now. But yeah, they look decent this time. They've got plenty of Premier League players. They've got players who play in Italy as well and Spain, and they're going to be it's a 50-50 game going into Wednesday. England probably man for man, looking throughout the squad, are probably slightly stronger, I would argue. But these players, when they play for their country, and it just brings out a little bit more in them. I mean. Their record,
really?
Holland's record in international tournaments, I mean, they haven't won anything since 1988, when actually the Euros was that's the last time it was in Germany, in 1988. They won at that time, Ruud Gullit, Frank Rijkaard, Marco Van Basten, all those guys. And so they've got something to prove, and that was a really tough game for them last night as well. So 8 o'clock Wednesday in Dortmund. Dortmund is a huge stadium, but it's like an English football stadium. You're going to see a terrific atmosphere there, no question about it.
All right, let's set you two off then with a bit of Andy Murray, because he's played his last match at Wimbledon.
Well, I was in Southfields last night, which is only a few minutes' walk from the All England Club, and there were lots more people in the pub last night because they were due to watch Murray and Raducanu in the mixed doubles, and they thought, well, we can't do that now, so we're going to go down to the boozer and watch England. But, I mean, I don't know who within her camp advised her that it was a good idea to take this match in the first place.
Well, exactly. I mean, just to explain the history of this, apparently Andy Murray sort of got hold Rangarelle or something, whatever, and said, wouldn't it be fun to play in the mixed doubles together? Yeah. And as you would expect, she was bowled over by the idea and said yes, she'd love to.
Enthusiastic to start with.
Yeah. And then yesterday morning we were told, I think, or maybe it was the day before or afternoon, I don't know, but she said she sort of issued a statement saying that she woke up that morning with a stiff wrist. And
she's had surgery, though, Anne. I mean, that's quite common.
He had surgery 10 days ago on his spine.
Yes, he did, but I mean...
And he is the king of Wimbledon.
Yeah, he is the king of Wimbledon, but it's the longest goodbye ever. I mean, he had tears on centre court on Thursday.
Yeah,
they delayed the schedule.
She'd agreed to do it.
They delayed the schedule. Yes, she did, but she shouldn't have... if you've got stiffness in your wrist, it's a medical issue, she's got half a chance of winning this tournament. She's done nothing in 3 years. Come on, she's got to get... She's got to
look after number one.
Of course you have, yeah. Andy Murray would have done exactly the same, let me tell you.
I wonder.
And also, you know, Andy Murray...
She snubbed the king of Wimbledon. She said she was going to play, and it would have been...
He'll still get a statue.
It would have been a terrific... No, that's not the point. Who does she think she is?
Someone who could win.
I think she's... Look, she's in... I don't think she banked on getting into the second week of Wimbledon for a start, and I think if you've had wrist surgery, that's very serious. She's had some real difficult problems on and off the court over the last 3 years. I think she's been badly advised in lots of ways. She suddenly sees a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, and I think you just have to be ruthless. Andy Murray had tears on centre court on Thursday. They delayed the schedule as long as possible, which they wouldn't have done for any other player, to allow him to compete on Tuesday, which he didn't quite make the cut for. He played on it earlier in the week. You know, I think his mother looked more, when she went on last night and said astonishing in response to a commentator saying it was astonishing that Emma Raducanu pulled out. I think she was more angry on his behalf than he was himself. He
looks like a snub from a young girl. I mean, their top banner of the Sunday Telegraph, Raducanu stuns Murray. And he is said to be devastated because he wanted it to be his swan song. And clearly, the crowd would have absolutely loved it.
Andy Murray's a man of integrity, don't get me wrong, but I think that if the boot had been on the other foot and he has a chance of winning a Grand Slam tournament, especially one as prestigious as Wimbledon, and he sees that this moment in the schedule is standing in his way, I'm sure he would have done the right thing and pulled out.
I'm shattered.
But then he wouldn't have got all the criticism.
I'm shattered by it. I really am. I was looking forward to it. I mean, just speaking as a fan, I was looking forward to it, but also I just see it as a giant snub from a young girl who's got a future ahead of her, yes. But, I mean, he's the king of Wimbledon.
Can she win you back?
And he's retiring.
She goes and wins it, will she win you back?
No, I'm not rooting for her anymore. I'm so sorry. But I was yesterday, I was so keen and absolutely behind her. And now this, to me, this is like Rishi Sunak going back from the D-Day beaches early. To me, it is. I think it's unforgivable snub.
And you wouldn't have seen the football otherwise, would you?
No. In fact, I do remember thinking which one would I watch, and I would have definitely watched Raducanu and Andy Murray playing together. It would have been magic.
Why should she sacrifice her chances on the altar of Andy Murray?
Well, but you wouldn't see it as the altar of Andy Murray. You think how exciting, what an incredible exhibition match it would have been.
She's on centre today at 3:30. That's a massive match today.
I'd be very interested to see how the crowd thinks of her now.
Oh, I don't think she's going to get booed on centre court today. I'd be absolutely shocked at that. I really would. I'll write to the BBC if so.
If I was sitting in the crowd, I'd be thinking.
But Cam Norrie's out in 3 sets against.
I'm not going to say it, but I'd be thinking of it. No, I wouldn't boo anyone. I don't think that's fair.
No,
but
I can't.
I might sit there looking very stony-faced if I was there.
Just to run through.
I'm absolutely shattered. Maybe I'm just being overdramatic. I'm sure I am. Everybody at home probably say I'm being overdramatic, but I don't think I am. I think this was big.
So she plays Lulu's son today at 3:30 on centre. Cam Norrie lost in 3 sets to Alexander Zverev, which was disappointing.
That's sad.
And Djokovic got through in 4 sets last night. Alcaraz is in action tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Or Alcatraz, as I nearly called it yesterday.